Hello and welcome to another one of my videos. Now today I'd like to return back to Russia and take a look at one of their individual ration combat packs. Now this particular one is the menu 18, so let's get this on a table and see what this pack contains. And so, as you can see, I now have here on the table this Russian individual combat ration pack, menu 18. I don't know if the camera's quite picking that up there. It is a relatively recent menu. It expired 6/22, so it's still relatively fresh. Green plastic bag, very much like the Lithuanian and Polish MREs. No easy open tear strip. So I'm going to need to bring in a friend just to help me along, just straight across the top there. So what does this menu 18 Russian ration contain? So straight off the bat we have, oh dear, that's not looking good. We have a very sticky looking meat with pasta. So that's not looking very promising. There's something been spilt there, but let's hope it's not the main meal. We also have a very sticky and wet napkin. We have some wet naps. We have a FRH. I'm still trying to figure out what that might be that's actually leaked. I do hope it's not the mains. We have some apple jam, which is split. That is the culprit, so not the end of the world. There is apple jam, which is split. I think that is a sweet, some sort of candy. I'm getting sticky now. These happen sometimes, especially in the non-boxed ones. I think this is a liver pate. There is some standard Russian army biscuits. There is what I think is a drinking chocolate. I'm sure on the list it says there was a drinking chocolate. That's probably the drinking chocolate. There is a 20-gram pack of sugar. There is a tea, a simple spoon, and we have a salt and pepper and another very sticky sweet. So it looks like we have a little bit of a disaster with the apple jam, but that is the contents of this Russian single meal menu number 18. So let's get these out on a tray and see what they look and taste like. And as you can see, I now have here laid out on the tray the contents of this Russian menu 18 single meal. I've done a much better translation, and what I thought was a drinking chocolate is actually just an isotonic drinks powder. And what I thought was a mint candy is actually a mint gum. But apart from that, everything else is as I thought. I've pre-boiled the main meal for 10 minutes in hot water. So I need to start, well, I always like to start things that need a little bit of preparation. So I'm going to start with this isotonic drinks powder. It does actually say on the translation if you use hot or cold water. So this time I'm going to use cold. So we'll just use a little friend there just to open us across the top. Well, I do apologise, it sounds like someone's trying to phone me, if you can hear that in the background. I think there's needs a bit more slashing across the top there. Always happens, you just start the camera and someone decides to phone. But we should ignore it and carry on regardless. So it's a yellow looking quite coarse powder. And using the spoon that came with it, I'm going to try and dissolve that in some cold water. It calls for about 200 millilitres of water, so this is a 300 and something, so about, I'll give it 3/4 of a glass. Now there's something a bit dark in there, I don't know if you can see it, there's a little bit of a granule going on. Oops, I don't know if you can see that there. A little bit of granules floating in it. Don't know what they are. Hopefully it's just some flavouring or some vitamin powder or something. But I give that a good mix. Next we're going to need to have a look at the tea. Now this is a tea that I've had many times before. I do know these are good quality teas. So it just looks like a commercial pack. I don't know if in the Russian you can get these commercially, but I do know from experience in the past, if I could buy them commercially here I would do, but they're not available in the UK as far as I know. So simple looking tea bag. I am going to add some of the large 20-gram pack of sugar. There is no whitener, so a little bit of sugar. So I'm not going to need all of that. I'll put in what I think is about a teaspoon, and we'll just get that filled up. Again, about 3/4 of a mug, not full to the top. Give these the best chance they can to taste well. Just a bit of agitation, and just give that a few minutes to do its thing. Now, I think moving round, we'll take a look at this liver pate. So it's a regular style looking pate there. Some of the army crackers. There are 6 in the pack. We should only need a couple. I did lose the jam, so some of the jam could have gone on this, but as you saw when the opening, the jam was split and it was everywhere, so it's only now thought of with the mains. Salt, pepper on standby, sweets and candies also on standby. So it's time to go for the mains, and I'm just going to bring in a little bowl just to help with my tidy up, and also it helps with presentation so you can see better. Pasta and beef. So it's looking just like, as the name suggested, pasta and beef. It is only a 200-gram pack, 250 grams, sorry, 250 grams. Most other rations in other countries around about 300 grams, so it's slightly smaller than a regular sort of army meal. So there it is, it's just pasta with beef as the name suggested. So I've now gone and dirtied my spoon without thinking, so I'm going to have to bring in the old US MRE spoon just to finish off my tea. Should have done this first obviously before I dunked it straight in the mains, but there you go, these things happen. Okay, so I'm going to start. I always like to start with the cold isotonic drinks powder, so it's quite translucent, it's not very heavily coloured, there's a little floating sugar residue on the top there. Strange unusual flavour. It's sweet, it's delicately flavoured. That's not a flavour I recognise. It's not an apple, it's not a peach, it's not a plum. It's a sort of soft fruit flavour, a sort of peachy plum, but it's not. It's either or neither. It's not unpleasant though. It's sweet. It's got a strange fruit flavour, but a pleasant fruit flavour. Not overly coloured. A nice, refreshing isotonic drinks powder. Let's have a look at the tea. So I've had these before. I've had many Russian rations, and they always have this brand of tea. Like always, and I said earlier, a good quality, decent, all-round drinkable tea. And coming from a tea drinking nation, I find that as a nice pleasant run. which I would buy myself if I could find it locally. So that's the recommendation, how good the tea is. So nice, decent black tea there. Now I think I'm going to go, let's start with the liver first. So use the other spoon. Very soft, very creamy texture, extremely soft. So try a little bit on the spoon first. Creamy, has that liver flavour. There is little lumps in there. I don't know, quite sure what the lumps are. Could actually be the liver. It's not ground smooth. Quite strong liver flavour, but not overpowering. There is other things going on in there. Plenty of salt, plenty of pepper. It's creamy, very nice, very tasty. Actual liver pate. Let's try a little bit on the cracker. So I'm going to try the cracker first, a simple plain wheat cracker. Quite firm, but it's plain, slightly salted. Very nice, very easy going, slightly salted plain wheat cracker. Nice flavour, a little bit harder than most crackers you find, but that's probably for the preservation to allow it to stay for a few years. But a nice basic wheat cracker, a little bit how it's meant to be used as a base for some of that pate. That is a good combination. A decent shelf-stable cracker, plain and simple, slightly salted, and a good creamy liver pate. A good combination, certainly enjoyable. One of the better liver pates I've had up to now. So, come back to the pasta with beef. So have a look at the pasta first, a little taste of the pasta. Very simplistic. There doesn't taste any tomato flavour there. It is just the flavour of the beef coming through. So it's pasta cooked and then added to the beef juices. Pass some of the beef there. Soft, tender, very lightly seasoned. Just salted and peppered. Can't taste any other seasoning in there. I think there's a few little herb specks, but they're not sort of noticeable in the flavour. It's simply a beef flavoured pasta with salt and pepper. Pasta's very soft, very soft, a little bit overcooked really, but a little bit on the stodgy side, but it is a tasty, nourishing, filling meal. And don't suppose you normally do this, or maybe you do in Russia, I don't know, but I'll try some of the pate with the mains. Never tried pate with the mains before, but that does actually go. It is actually a nice combination. Another way of eating that pate, to use up the whole tin, make sure you get the full calorific value. Very nice, very tasty combination. Those enjoyable, and I'm going to enjoy finishing those for my lunch. Speaking of my mouthful, I need to just refresh my palate there. Don't think I'm going to need the salt and pepper. The saltiness of the pate actually adds a little bit more salt to the main, so certainly plenty good enough. That is just salt and black pepper, nothing to look at really. Let's have a look at the sweet and candy. So it looks like a little red fruit single sweet. Quite mild in flavour. Very difficult to decide what flavour that is. It's not overly flavoursome. There's a slight red fruit flavour there. It's hard. It's a hard fruit flavoured candy. Can't tell if it's strawberry, raspberry or any other red fruit, but just very basic hard boiled candy there. It's got it out of my mouth. Excuse me, it's moved to one side. So it's just a run of the mill, not overly exciting candy, but it is a piece of sweetness. Now I don't know how this is stood up. As you can see, the jam has gone all over the Mentos gum. So I don't know if that's affected it. Doesn't appear to have gone through the packaging. So it's just a single round mint gum. Crispy shell, soft gum, nice, plenty of minty oils, palate cleansing, tasty, all round piece of gum. Certainly adequate for refreshing your mouth after the meal. Now I am a little bit sticky, and I've seen these loads of times in the Russian military rations. These two colours. The white used to be for your hands and the green used to be for the spoon. I've not seen it for a while, but years ago, I'll have one here. The Russian spoons in the military rations were green, so that made sense. Green for green, white for your hands. But now they seem to be putting more white spoons in. I do think they're both the same. I don't think there's any difference, but we should just use the white one. So quite a large, reasonable sized napkin. Quite stretchy. It's not a simple paper towel. It's very similar to the British ORP ones in the texture, but not as big. Wet, moist, no smell. Certainly feels like it's cleaning your hands. Certainly strong, decent wet nap. So overall, very tasty, very enjoyable, simplistic meal. So I'm going to leave it there. Thanks for watching. Please like, share, subscribe and hit that notification button for future videos coming very soon. So thank you and goodbye.